What are the overarching themes, energies, circumstances coming up in October 2025 for Libra placements? All right, you have dark thoughts. You may look at that and be like, oh no, dark thoughts? Why? This is not a bad thing, Libra, okay? It's good. Whenever something is surfacing, that's what we want, because then we can look at it, okay? So, you may be consciously very aware this month of what has been holding you back, all right? So if you know that there is a thought that you're suddenly aware of, like, hang on, why is this always coming to mind? Or why am I always leaning towards the negative when it comes to this? Why is it I always fear the worst occurring in this situation? Or why is it that I feel this way about X, Y, and Z, right? It can show up in many different ways, but ultimately what it's underpinning is a pattern, right? There is a pattern here that you're going to be consciously aware of in the month of October. It's not necessarily that this is something you're choosing or you're wanting to reinforce, but it's something that is on loop, okay? So there's something about it that is programmed or that is conditioned, or some kind of intrusive thought, okay, that keeps replaying on loop, all right? So wherever that's hitting, that's what you need to look at, all right? So we're going to take a closer look at this energy in more detail, but definitely there is something about the thought process that you have. It could be in many different areas. It could be in some, one particular area. But whatever it is having such a profound impact on the way you look at things as a whole, right? But also how you maneuver through life. So it's definitely crucial that you look at what it is, whatever this is. So let's get more insight on that. Tell me more about this energy for Libra, right? This is definitely like more of a negative perspective, okay? Tell me about this energy for Libra. Four of Cups, right? Disappointment, can't have, missing out, being on the outside looking in, right? This is like the energy of the other, feeling separate in some capacity, okay? But it's something that affects you emotionally. Because there is a negative thought that keeps you feeling as if though you're missing something, or you're not gaining something, or something bad is happening, or something bad is what you can expect. It has a negative impact on you emotionally, of course, right? And so there comes the feelings of disappointment or sadness, right? Or loss or betrayal or heartache, or again, especially this energy of feeling othered, right? In some capacity. Like you don't belong, or like you can't expect or assume the best. Others can, but you can't. This could be in just in one particular area of your life. This doesn't have to be something that you feel or think across the board, but there may be a specific area in your life where you feel like you're always seeing something go awry, or something doesn't really work out for you, or it ends up pulling you down, right? Some kind of maze, only to get to some kind of dead end. Right? Oh, I'm just being set up to go on a wild goose chase again. Only for it to lead to what? More illusions, disappointment, misery. But there's almost like an energy of settling for that, right? With the Four of Cups. That's the danger of the Four of Cups. If you're not careful, it says you can get even complacent in the energy you don't want to be in, right? As opposed to challenging it or looking at it from a fresh perspective. So it's almost like a sort of mild resignation that this is what you can expect. Yeah, see, look, Ace of Cups in reverse. So it's almost like giving up. Pouring your cup out, like I give up. I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah, see, this is it, right? Three of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Three of Swords upright, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Disappointment, heartbreak, right? Betrayal, wounded. This is emotional wounding. So there's a wound here that is requiring your attention. And it's because you feel like you're losing out, you're missing out. There's something fundamental you want that you can't have, right? I'll never have the perfect family life. I'll never have the perfect relationship. I'll never have the perfect career, the dream life. That's not for me. That's not in my future. right? So there is a limiting belief here. It's important that you sit with this and really underpin, where does this stem from? There is a wound here that is triggering a reoccurring belief, thoughts, right? When it comes to what you feel you can and can't have. But that's not the case, right? That's not the case. This is what? Your beliefs, dark thoughts. That's why it's coming to surface, for you to challenge it, for you to change it, to be aware of it, okay? But it stems from a wound here. A wound where perhaps you thought that you was going to experience the Ten of Pentacles, right? You was going to experience this Ten of Pentacles in some situation, whether that is through a career route, whether that's through a relationship, whether that's through some kind of family dynamic, right? Community, whatever. But something went awry, really awry, to the point where it caused you pain. And this wound was so significant that it completely changed your outlook when it comes to that. Okay? So again, that's why this is being brought up, for you to address it. Because your past is not indicative of your future. Okay? It's really important that you're aware of that. Your past is not indicative of your future. Even your present. But this wound will definitely continue to affect the way you look at it if you don't sit with it. Okay? And really get to the root of what is still raw for you, okay, about the situation. What is it specifically that is still causing you suffering, pain? What is affecting the way you look at these things moving forward, right? And at the present moment as well, in the present moment. Yeah, Five of Swords in reverse. This has got nothing to do with anyone else. At this point, I'm not talking about the situation that caused the wound. I'm talking about where you find yourself now within this energy. There is no one else in the equation. This is about you, your beliefs, your thought process, okay? And an unhealed wound. There is nothing, I'm telling you, there is nothing here that tells me you can't have the Ten of Pentacles, whatever that is for you. What it does show here is your belief that you don't think you can, right? Your belief that you don't think this is for you. That this is there, accessible to others, but not to you. And that's what you're being asked to challenge, okay? Because the Ten of Wands is the end. Whatever the challenge was in the situation, whatever the circumstances, whoever was involved, right? Whatever was connected to this very situation that caused you this pain, that's already done. Ten of Wands is finished, right? But you're still carrying the burden, the energy, right? The memory, the pain of what happened. So that's why you feel like you're still going through it and you're still carrying it, because you're carrying the energy of what happened, but you're not going through this anymore. So it's like you're going about your life as if it's still happening, or you're still facing the situation, but you're not. We talk about how the mind can greatly impact and affect the way you perceive your reality and how you navigate it, how it presents itself, right? Because you've got to remember, your mind is constantly shaping it and influencing the way reality is presented to you, right? And what takes place in your life. So you want to be really careful, Libra, that you don't continue to enforce this as a self-fulfilling prophecy. We talk about the dangers of that, right? That if you don't break out of that conditioning, right? If you don't challenge the limiting belief, then you can unknowingly perpetuate the very thing that you don't want to experience anymore. Ten of Wands just says you can let go now. You can drop the burden. You can release this energy, right? It's not yours to carry at this point. It's already done. Just because the thought comes up doesn't mean you have to reinforce the belief attached to it. You can just be like, okay, well, I know where that stems from, but I know for a fact that that's not rooted in reality. That's something I experienced. Okay, that was an experience, but that's not my life now. That's not the energy I'm in now, right? You get to determine what you reinforce. So Libra, just know you always have a choice, okay? What you reinforce will become your reality. So just something to be aware of, okay? So Libra placements, I hope that does help.